Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. This is a marvelous Monday and another great episode of Public Speaking and Business. I'm Dr. Samantha DeLoache, your modeling pharmacist and professional speaker coach. And I've been having a fabulous time doing these different episodes. I've been meeting so many great people, and today is going to be no different. I want everyone to pretty much see the importance of public speaking and the importance of communication because you can never ever get to a point where you don't have to be able to speak up for yourself or be able to articulate your thoughts and feelings. And so many times communication can get disconnected. There could be so much we miss just because we don't know how to properly articulate ourselves or share our thoughts and feelings. So I want everyone to just know that public speaking can help you regardless of where you are in your journey. If you're a business professional, if you're working at home, or if you are someone in the community, it doesn't matter. Public speaking can help you. And so I've been having the pleasure of talking to different entrepreneurs and business individuals to find out how communication and public speaking has been able to help their businesses and help with their growth. So I feel like their tips that they have been giving so far have been beneficial regardless of what area you're in. So I hope everyone has been tuning in, taking notes. And if you miss any episode, because I've done about, I want to say close to almost 30 at this point, then go back on my page and look through and review because even though I'm asking the same questions, there's always a different point of view. There's always a different experience that the guest brings. So no two shows, I should say, has been alike. Each has been different and inspiring and impactful in its own way. So I really hope you've been enjoying it. And also, you should know that the Model Speakers Academy is now open and accepting enrollment for guests and for participants. So I have my next webinar this Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's a lunchtime webinar that I'll be doing where I will go over all the things concerning Model Speakers Academy. As you all know, MODEL stands for Motivate, Organize, Deliver, Engage, and Lead. And that's what I want you to know. As a speaker, as a communicator, you are a leader. If you have the mic, if you have the floor, then all the attention is on you. And you want to be a thought leader. You want to be an expert. You want to make sure that people know that what you're sharing is something that can benefit them, that can help them go to the next level. So I don't want to give it all away, but you need to tune in for this free webinar happening at lunchtime this coming Wednesday, the 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's just going to be an hour. And I think it's going to be an hour well spent. So as you're grabbing your lunch, come head over, sign up. It's on my page. So that way you can know about all the things of the Model Speakers Academy. And if you know someone who would be a good fit, then you want to share that webinar information with them as well. But enough about all of that. My guest today is Michael Forman, and he's coming from Georgia, and I'm so excited to have him here. So, welcome, Michael. Can you tell us about your business and what you have going on?
Thank you for having me, first of all. Really, my business is to help educate and teach people the art of networking and communication. And more importantly, everybody thinks, oh, it's business communication. It's just so important. Well, it's more important for you to use that not only in business, but in your personal life
Hmm.
because you have to learn to speak, you have to learn to listen and understand, and then you respond in the appropriate way.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's true because I'm glad you brought that up. Listening is just as important as actual talking. So you want to listen to understand and not listen to respond. And many people just listen to respond.
That's true, but usually when a person is uh, in a networking environment, they always are thinking about the next thing that they have to say
Hmm.
instead of listening to the person. And here's the important part: pause. You listen and you pause afterwards because that tells the other person that you were listening, you were attentive, and then you respond to what they were saying and not what you wanted to say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. So let's go ahead and get into it. Why do you believe public speaking is a crucial skill for business professionals today?
Well, I've learned that there's a mantra in networking. There's a mantra: if they know you, if they like you, and they trust you, they'll do business with you. And it's clear that everybody, listen, everybody knows everybody. The
Yeah.
world is just great. Um, know you, like you, well, that narrows the scope down a little bit, but it's what you do with that, and what you do with that information is if they will trust you, because nobody's going to do business with you unless they trust you. And that trust factor, you have to build that rapport with them, and you have to build it up to such a point where their barriers come down and
Mhm.
they allow you into their world to trust you.
Yes. That's very good because you're right. To do business, they want to know, like, and trust you. And trust, I believe, is the biggest thing and the hardest, honestly, to get when it comes to communicating with individuals, especially when you don't really know them or no one's referred you to that person. So you're just meeting them off of social media, and it's like, can I really trust this person? I know they appear friendly, they appear nice, their profile picture looks good, but who is the person behind this picture? Because let's face it, in social media and this day and age, there are a lot of people who can portray a certain image, but then after you get to know them, what you saw originally doesn't line up with who they actually are. So that makes it very difficult to gain that trust.
There is the old saying, you can't judge a book by the cover. Well, you know something? That happens to be very true with social media,
Mhm.
because everybody puts their best picture online. They put the best, they find the best thing to say online, but they really don't know you until they speak with you, until they meet with you. And it's great, all the Zoom conferences and cell phones and everything else. That's great. But it doesn't replace that one to one, that in person feeling. It's really such a difference. It's a difference maker if
Mhm.
you can stand in
Yes.
front of the person and actually show them. And the more you let them speak and talk about themselves,
Hmm.
the more that barrier comes down, and you get to say what you can say about your business and everything else,
Hmm.
because you really only have that, oh, 5 minutes to see whether or not you go from the trust factor, from the know you, like you, into trust you. And that little transformation, that's the biggest thing you have to overcome.
Absolutely, yes. And so my second question is, can you share a personal experience where effective public speaking significantly impacted your career or business?
um yeah, you know I would say, whenever I talk with anybody, with a client, with an associate, with employees, anything like that, people don't listen. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to that, because people just are interested in what they have to say, and they're not interested in actually listening. And that's really the biggest difference between a client and a relationship.
Mm.
And, well, this is the way that I explain what that difference is. Let's say you're going into a grocery store, and I see you and you're a client of mine. You say, "Hey, how you doing?" "Okay, hi, okay, goodbye," and you go right past. But if you build relationships, you say, "Hi, how you doing?" "Oh, hi, how you doing?" "Well, how's your son? I heard he got hurt in Little League. Is he feeling better?" "Oh, that's good." And you have that little bit of discussion, and then you move on. Okay,
Yeah.
so the days of building clients, that's really gone. The
Hmm.
building of relationships, well, that's really in. And I have to tell you, ever since the pandemic,
Hmm.
when everybody was indoors, the 20 somethings and the 30 somethings, they really don't know how to communicate. They
Mm.
don't know how to network with people. And
Yes.
that's what I'm trying to show them and educate them. And is what my breakout sessions or workshops, that's what I'm really trying to bring out with them.
Wow. Yeah. You brought up two good points. And I love that example you gave. Yeah, when you just know someone casually and it's surface level, then it's just a hey and bye. But when you develop that relationship, then it's about I care about you as a person. I care about what's going on in your life. What's important to you is important to me. So you're not just a sale, you're not just a client, but I see you as an extended part of my family or friendship. And so therefore I take time to see how you're doing. If you were under the weather or if something's going on with your family, it's gonna be, the next best thing for you to find out how are you doing or how is that situation progressing, because that's how people can tell that you really care, that you're not just a
That's right.
number. So that was excellent, that you said that. And then, like you said, the pandemic really did hurt a lot of communication, especially with the 20s and 30s, like you said, because now everybody has a phone in their face and people don't know how to have small talk. They don't know how to talk about the weather. They don't know how to talk about the holidays or just how to carry a conversation without it being a cell phone. And, people often, I find, get uh, confused, or I could say they can assume, without really getting to know someone. They just, they're used to texting and they're used to just giving a quick response. And so there's not enough time to get clarity or understanding. And so I think that is a big piece missing in communication, being able to understand the person and not putting your lens or your judgment on it, but just listening with an open heart and then ask questions if there's not clarity. If you're not sure what someone is meaning by a statement or by whatever, then just ask a question to get clarity, but don't assume, because I think a lot of people also walk in a fence. They're so quick to, write somebody off or to, throw somebody away based off of a 2-minute interaction. And it's just, because of social media, we're used to commenting so quickly, we've forgotten how to have a conversation and to just listen. Like you said, pause and listen.
And a great deal of my business is going to universities and, believe it or not, high schools, because you have high schools, you have the debate teams and different clubs and associations that they have to learn how to communicate not only with one another, with their opponents, but the teachers, the faculty, and life in general. So these transgress to many to the younger kids, and we go all the way up through the universities and through conferences and summits and things like that. So really, it's for everybody.
Absolutely. Everyone can learn how to be a better and a more effective communicator. So that's so true. So my next question is, what are some common public speaking challenges that business professionals face and how can they overcome them?
It's easy. Okay, that's easy because everybody's trying to be perfect. I
Mm,
have to be perfect. Okay, I have to, if I'm talking to you, I have to enunciate. I have to be perfect and tell you exactly. Don't be afraid to mess up. Everybody messes up. So be yourself. You can always tell when somebody's trying to
mm,
force out whatever they're trying to say. The heck with all that. Just be yourself. And it goes a long way.
wow. And it's the truth. And I love that you say that. Perfection is the killer of so many great ideas, so many people trying to start stuff. Everybody's afraid to fall. Everybody's afraid to look like a beginner. Everybody wants to look so polished, so poised, and they're afraid to make a mistake. And it's like, be
That's right.
human, be real, be authentic. It's okay if you say it's okay if you stumble over a word. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. We're not robots,
That's
we're
right.
not machines. It's okay to make a mistake.
That's right. What's funny is that a lot of times when you make that mistake, you can joke about it
Right.
and you all can have a laugh about it and go, and that also reduces the barriers
Hmm.
of communicating with one another.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I love that you brought that up. That's the biggest challenge is, wanting to be perfect. And we're not perfect. None of us is perfect. So be yourself and just do it. The more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it, the more confident you'll be. And so you holding yourself back by expecting to have this cookie cutter perfect performance when in reality it doesn't matter. Because like you said, people want somebody who's relatable, somebody who they can, relate to, that they can trust, that they can, be themselves around. Nobody wants to be so stiff or has to be perfect all the time. So,
Right. They're not going to relate to a robot. A robot is perfect in every way.
mm,
People can't relate to that.
mm,
They can relate to you being human.
yes,
And if you laugh about it and joke about it, and listen, humor is the number one thing in all of my speeches and talks and everything else. Because if you inject a little humor,
mhm,
it lightens everything,
it does.
and you can move easily into the next next thing you want to talk about.
Absolutely. So, yeah, my last question is, what is one essential tip that you would give to someone looking to improve their public speaking skills?
Well, to increase the skills, that's really a mindset.
Mhm,
But if you follow up properly, and I say properly, because after you meet with somebody, whether you think you did well or didn't do well, you know, your follow-up is key. Your follow-up will make or break your sale, your consulting, or whatever else. And it's some people just like they go back home, they send out an email, they wait a week and they send out another email, and that's wrong.
mm,
Because if I went up against you and you were just doing that, I won, because I have a series of things that it almost makes you want to respond to me,
mm,
positive or negative. That's what I'm looking for. I don't care if it's positive or negative, as long as I get a response.
mm,
And so there's there's a little uh, timeline of things that you do. The most important thing, the most important thing is to write a handwritten thank you note.
mm,
That's right. That's right. It's not an email. It's a handwritten thank you note, and you have to put that in the middle of what my follow up is. But if you do that, that brings your response rate to about 85%.
wow, that's good. And you know what?
Yeah,
Nowadays, with technology, we've gotten
that's
lazy.
right.
We've gotten lazy. I want to say even in elementary school, they don't even teach cursive handwriting anymore. They don't even teach the basics of even how to write a letter because everything is, like you said, electronic. And so to go that extra step above to make you stand out, then you have to be willing to do something that others aren't doing because other people aren't writing handwritten notes. Okay.
You need something, anything. I used to be in the mortgage industry, and there was 1,000 realtors in my county, and I had to think of something that
Mhm.
would make me shine. So I used to buy shot glasses,
Oh,
put it in a box, send it to my realtor, and I say, all I want is a shot. And I would only send these to the top realtors. And I used to get phone calls back saying, Michael, that was such a great idea. Listen, I have my 3 mortgage guys, but I will put you on a list in case one of them falters. I'm going to have you. I said, that's all I ask.
wow.
So you do that enough time, you get in. So you just have to think of that one thing, just that
Mm.
something that will set you apart from everyone else.
I like that. I may have to take that idea. That's cool. I like that. Get a shot glass and mail it and say, I just want a shot. That's
That's
so
it.
clever. That's so cute. And it didn't take that much effort, but it just took you being intentional. Because you're right, you
That's
can
it.
go on Amazon and buy shot glasses, or you can go on Amazon and buy thank you cards. The point is, and I like also kind of pull back on what you said, you just want a response back, positive or negative. Whether you love my
That's it.
presentation or you didn't, I still want to take an extra step to get some type of information from you, some feedback. And that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's the way it is. That's exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for that response because it tells you where you are, tells you
Right.
where you stand. And maybe with that type of feedback, it would tell you a direction which you have to go.
Right.
I'm always learning. I'm always learning. I always take feedback, positive or negative, everything, because that makes me the person, the speaker that I am, and will help me with my direction.
Wow. And that's right. That's what feedback does. And so that's what some people need to realize. let's say you didn't get whatever you were going after. Ask the person, what could I have done better? I think sometimes we shy away from getting feedback or we don't want to know. But no, if even if you didn't get the sale or you didn't get what you want, find out why. Talk to the person, get some feedback. That way you can make changes or improvements for the next time. And so if you get that, then you didn't have a total loss because at least now I have some more information than I had before I started. And so that's so important.
That's right. It's very, very important. Listen, I don't care how big you are, how professional you are, you always need that feedback because you always want to grow. You always want to get better. And
Absolutely.
if you get better, then you're doing you're carrying on with your journey because nobody is that's people say that I'm a networking and communication expert.
Hmm.
And I hate that word because nobody is an expert. Because if you're continually learning,
Mm.
then you're getting better and better and better.
And that's true. And that's what we should all be striving for, regardless of what area you're in, if that's communication, speaking, business, networking, whatever it is. Each day we should be striving to get 1% better than we were the day before. We should always be trying to learn. We should be lifelong learners. And we should never get to a point, like you said earlier, like we've arrived. Like, I know all there is to know in this area. No, there's always something new. There's always a way to improve. There's always a way to get better. Or at least you should be open to getting the information. Because if you're not growing, then guess what? You're slowly dying. You're
Yeah,
either moving
that's yeah.
forward or you move backward. And so I know for myself, I want to keep moving forward. I don't want to ever feel like I'm too good to get information or sit under someone or get some feedback because all of that helps you.
I'm a veteran. I'm an Air Force veteran, and there's a meaning behind the patch of the flag that's on your arm. And the flag, if you look at it, it's reversed. And the stars are on the right and the stripes are on the left. And you're saying, well, why is that? And really, it's because this country, we're always advancing, we're not retreating. So I use the same philosophy. I'm always moving forward, I'm always advancing, and I'm not going back because anybody who stops or just doesn't do anything, I'm going to pass you. I'm going to pass you because I'm always learning, I'm always advancing, I'm always trying to get better.
Absolutely. That should be the goal. And thank you for your service as well. Thank you for sharing that.
My honor. It's
Yes.
my honor.
Well, you know what? I had a great time talking with you. I want you to let all of the viewers know how they can stay in contact with you, what you have going on, and just all things Michael Forman.
Well, the easiest way to get hold of me is through my website, michaelaforman.com. On there is you can order my book that I wrote, Network Unleashed. I also have an abridged version on the site. It's a downloadable PDF, and that's free.
Hmm.
Okay, so that if you really want to get started, but if you want the whole book, you just order it. On there, you'll see my different talks about networking, communication, leadership. Um, it's all, and you have all the podcasts that I've been on. There's a contact form. There's a speakers bureau that I belong to that you can always take out and take a look. But the best way to get hold of me, michaelaforman.com. There's a contact form. Fill it out, and I'll call you back within 24 hours.
Wow. Well, that's excellent. So you heard it here, everyone. If you want to get in contact with Michael A. Foreman, the best way to do it is through his website by the same name, michaelaforman.com. And he has a book called Networking Unleashed, and there's a picture of it behind him. And so if you want a copy of it, you can get it on Amazon or you can go to his website and get, like he said, the abridged version, which is a PDF to get you started. So you can't go wrong with that. So I hope you all learned some good tips on how to not only be a better networker, but how to be a better communicator and how it's important to one, not be perfect, one, to listen, and one, to just be willing to get feedback, willing to find out how you can improve. And if you want to be a better business person, then people have to know, like, and trust you. And the best way to do that is to build a relationship so that, like he said, the barriers can come down and people can feel that they can relate to you. So thank you so much, Michael, for joining us today. You gave us so many great nuggets, and I'm going to include your information for them to follow you as well and to go by your website. And for everyone who listened, thank you for joining in. Remember, this Wednesday will be my free webinar happening at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time about the Model Speakers Academy. And tomorrow, I'm going to have another great conversation with someone with public